Welcome to Brantim Live. I'm your co-host, Brandon E. Brooks.
And I'm your co-host, Tim Milliken.
All right, we have another group of guests tonight that represent Netflix's Squid Game, The Challenge. We'll introduce them in a moment, but Tim's going to unpack a little business about the Atlantic City Celebrity Convention first.
Yeah,
Tim?
so in case you don't know, we're doing this thing called the Atlantic City Celebrity Convention. That's from Brantim Entertainment. We're doing that July 25th to 28th at ACX1 Studios in Atlantic City, right on the boardwalk. We're actually over the ocean on the pier, which is dope. The coolest thing about that is that it's a one-of-a-kind venue. It's not your typical pipe and drape convention in an arena or a convention center or a hotel lobby. This is like a state-of-the-art mall over the ocean and with amazing views and a ton of experiences that we're going to be posting up soon. We have some new experiences we're going to be offering for sale soon, like dinners with the celebrities and lunch with the celebrities and a whole bunch of other good stuff we haven't announced yet. So a lot of people have been asking about table pricing. Okay, table pricing at most conventions are usually done or posted, a week or two, maybe three at most, before the event. Since we're not doing pre-sales on that, we are holding off, posting the table pricing until then. However, if you want pro photo ops with any of these people, any of these awesome, amazing guests, we have over 50 guests. Go to brantim.realms.tv and let's put that up right here. Yeah, there you go, right there. So you can just write that down and you can head on over to brantim.realms.tv, get some photo ops tickets, weekend passes, and all that other good stuff. We also have the ultimate VIP package, which you don't want to miss because we have some events that we haven't even announced yet. They're awesome. They're going to enhance that ultimate VIP package that we haven't even announced yet. So once we do, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I'm so happy I bought that when I could, at $400, which you save about $250 on the package. Other things are, I think we pretty much wrapped up our guest list. We do have a few more that we're gonna get over the line at the very end, but just a few more. I think 50 plus is more than enough for a amazing celebrity convention like this. Please stay tuned. We do have a show tomorrow night. If we forget to mention at the end of this show, we have a show tomorrow night with Danny Bonaducci. It's going to be awesome. This is going to be a really cool experience to have him at our convention. We're really excited for that. But yeah, Brandon and I will interview him tomorrow. But without further ado, Brandon, let's get this rolling.
All right, so we have a special guest co-host tonight, a friend of us and a huge supporter of the Atlantic City Celebrity Convention, one of a kind person, as film and television set medic that's very trusted in the industry, works for SNL, and an actress as well. Without further ado, welcome to Brantim Live, Yvette Zambrano.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Right.
Let's
Hello.
have an awesome show.
Yes. So without further ado, let's bring up our Squid Game, The Challenge castmates. We got Dylan, Jada, Dan, Camilla, and of course, Phil. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing great.
Good. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for all coming. We appreciate it.
In case anybody doesn't know about Netflix Squid Game, The Challenge, I'm going to read you a little excerpt. It was a worldwide sensation, and the show ranked #1 on Netflix's global list of the most watched television show in the English language for 3 weeks, and it streamed over 85 million hours. And it's still ranked #1 today with streaming over, like I said, 87 million, and it reached over 80 countries.
Wow. That's awesome, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Seriously.
All right. So without further ado, we're going to show you a trailer for Squid Game, The Challenge.
Oop. Volume.
Oh my God.
Please enter the game hall immediately.
What is this?
Damn.
Oh my God! Oh.
Let the game begin.
I want to live, not merely
only survive.
This is a savage game.
And I won't give up this dream of life that keeps me alive.
Oh, shit.
I gotta be me.
This game has to be played with strategy.
I'm gonna be your best friend, but I will absolutely double cross you.
You can't trust anybody in here. You must now pick 2 players to eliminate.
We're in Squid Games. Let's get real. Let's sink these ships.
We are a good team. You're the brightest light in here.
For somebody else.
People's true colors are starting to come out.
I gotta be free.
This is a $4.56 million game.
The money is so.
You have been eliminated.
Awesome.
Wow. Easy. What did you think about that? What did you think about the trailer after not seeing it for a while?
Chills.
I got chills watching it again. Chills.
Just so you know.
Yeah, it definitely brought you back.
Somebody in the green room.
Oh yeah,
we have somebody in the green room. Just so you know.
Yeah, so let's make that special introduction, Yvette, before we get started.
So I believe it's her. So we actually have the winner of Squid Games on with us tonight, and her name is Mai. Hi, Mai. How are you?
Hello, Mai.
Hello.
Hey, Mai.
Awesome.
How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for joining us. Last second. Thank you.
It's a
So,
pleasure.
Mai, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How does it feel to be the winner of $4.56 million?
Believe it or not, I haven't grasped that I'm the winner, but I'm trying to make a difference. That's it. That's all it was. Make a difference.
Incredible.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. That's amazing.
So much, yeah.
That's fantastic. So let's kick it off with the questions, guys.
Yep.
All right.
Oh yeah, sorry. So let's go around and let's start with Mai, and then go around and I'd say counterclockwise. Let's go to Camilla after that, and then Dylan, and so on. So, how did you find out about the show to begin with, and where to apply or how to apply? What was the application process like?
So my husband nudged me to watch the show, and I binge watched 2 days, and I was like a number one fan. And then when he saw the casting call, he asked me, "You should apply this," and I said, "No doubt, I will apply." Within an hour, I did a 1-minute video and submitted it, and it took 6 months, and the rest is history.
Wow, 6 months! Oh my god!
Yeah,
Wow.
6 months.
Camilla, what about you?
I also saw the casting call online, but I had seen it maybe like when it first got released in like May or June, and I kept on putting it off. I was kind of like my own worst critic in regards to it, and I was like, maybe. And then I went away on a trip, and when I came back, I was like, if it's still there, then it's meant to be for me to apply for the show, and maybe it's supposed to be on it. I came back the next day, I applied, I submitted, and I got a call back the very next day. And this was in October of 2022. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Dylan, what about you?
Pretty much the same as everyone else. I'm assuming I just saw it on Instagram, and it was like a 6-month process for me, because I think that's like the average time. But yeah, I applied, went through the process, and that's how I ended up on the show.
Awesome. Jada.
Yeah, I guess something we never heard. I saw it on Instagram, but I actually saw it 4 hours after they posted it. So, and I did watch the show the year prior when they dropped it. So I was like obsessed with it. And as I was watching it, I was like, I think I could win this. So when I saw that, it encouraged me to apply. I applied around the same time I did in June, and I didn't hear back until September. And then from September to December, it kind of, was a little rapid. And then now we're here.
Awesome. Dan.
Well, for me, my journey is a little different. For those everyone else on this screen knows, I've been applying to Survivor since 2001, and never got a call. My daughters, I have 5 kids. 3 of them that are older are my daughters, and we watched the show together. They saw it on TikTok or Instagram. I don't know. So they said, "Dad, you should apply." And I was thinking, why should I apply? I've been applying to Survivor for so long. I never get a call. They said, just do it. So I went in the garage, 1-minute video, 1 take, sent it in. And the rest of the story is just like everybody else. 6 months later, things worked out and I ended up in that dorm.
Awesome. That's cool. Phil, how about you?
Yeah, I just saw an ad online. I've never really applied to reality shows like that, but I thought, why not? I had never seen the original show either, so I was really just taking a jump. And then I didn't get cast until 3 days before I flew out to go shoot.
Wow.
And so it was a very last-minute decision.
Wow.
Which brings me to my question, actually. So my question was, how long were you cast for the show before flying out to London? Because it was filmed in London, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Phil answered that already. So that was only 3 days. So let's start with, let's go backwards. Let's go with Dan.
Yeah, it started in July, and I flew out, I don't know, let's say January 18th. I bet you I didn't know for sure until maybe January 5th or 6th.
Really? Wow. Jen.
Sorry, I was muted. I flew out January 17th, and I got confirmed for it, I think, December 8th. So that's
okay.
Okay.
Dylan.
Yeah, I was around that time. I think I found out a couple days after Christmas, and then I flew out like the 17th or 18th in there, so like 2.5 weeks.
Awesome. Camilla.
After I got that first initial call in October, the day after, I got my official confirmation on January 11th, which was an anniversary of mine, and I flew out on the 17th, so 6 days later.
Awesome. Nice.
Nice.
You're on mute.
I'm on mute?
Yes.
No, Maya's on mute.
Maya's on mute.
She was answering.
Mute. You're on mute, Maya.
Hit the mute button.
Yep. There you go. There you go.
It's okay.
I went to work on January 9th. I was telling my, coworkers, I said, you know what, I'm not going to get selected. It's January already. And so that I came home kind of sad, and all of a sudden I got a phone call and I said, congratulations. I said, what? So it made my day on January 9th. And then I flew out on January 19th.
Awesome. Cool.
So my next question, I think we're done with everybody, right?
Yes. I'm going in circles. Sorry. Yeah.
It's okay. Describe your first day in London. Were there any rules that you had to follow upon your arrival?
Let's start with Camilla and go backwards.
Yeah. So I arrived in London at like 5 in the morning, and my car wasn't supposed to get to me until 7. So it was a little bit of waiting in the airport.
Oh yeah.
And it was super jet lagged and just super tired. But I waited for my car, and it was like the kind of like the movies, like he had my name on a piece of paper. He picked me up in like an unmarked car. I remember my mom freaking out, being like, "Is this real? Like, is this a real person picking you up? Like, how do you know? Is there a way to make sure?" But yeah, I got picked up and I got brought to a hotel. And as soon as we got to the hotel, I think all of us can attest for this, we weren't allowed to talk to anybody. So we all stayed really quiet while we checked in.
Dylan, what about you?
Very similar story. I remember getting to the hotel, and the only thing I really remember about, like, as soon as I got there, they're like, stay in your room. So I stayed in my room. The only channel that was on was like the first couple Simpsons episodes ever that were just like on repeat. So I was just watching that, and then like some reality real estate agent show that would, like, they were going nuts at each other. And that was pretty much my whole like quarantine period, was just that show. And then I couldn't really use my phone because the Wi-Fi only worked if I was like next to my door. So I'd have to like huddle behind a door to send a text, and then like go back to my bed to lay down. Other than that, it was really chill.
Jada.
Yeah, for me, I believe I landed in London around 1 p.m. So I actually couldn't find my driver. He had like the most smallest sign with my name, and I'm like, I walked past him I think like 4 times, and then I'm like, so embarrassing. And then Yeah, we got over there, and I think it really didn't hit me until I walked in, and then they started separating everyone and like going through the numbers and making you check in for your room. So, a lot of emotions for me just because I wanted to always be on reality TV. So it definitely, I was just feeling grateful. I followed every rule to the T. Like if I had to be downstairs at 3:30, I was downstairs at 3:30. I was not trying to like mess it up because I know they said that like if you talk to anybody, like they were very keen on you can get sent home, and I wasn't trying to get sent home, so I was just a rule follower.
Dan.
Yeah, same kind of thing. I think I arrived at the hotel maybe 9:00 at night. You had to get in line, get your number, get everything squared away. When I got in my room, though, I went to work immediately. I didn't believe anything that they gave us in the itineraries. I thought they were going to kidnap us in the middle of the night. So I started studying. I was watching Mr. Beast videos, how to beat the Squid Games. I mean, I was working out. I went to work immediately because I said, "There's no way this is going to be what they said it is." So a little anxious and a little suspicious right out of the gate.
Trust nobody. Yeah, there you go. Good man. Phil.
Well, I was coming from Hawaii. So it was like a 6-hour flight to LA and then a 10-hour flight to London. And I think in total, from the moment I walked out of my apartment in Hawaii to the moment I walked into my hotel room, it was like 36 hours of just like travel and getting like, waiting in line once we got to the hotel and like all that kind of stuff. And so I just like passed out for like 2 days.
Yeah, I bet.
That's why you didn't see me much in the first half of the seasons because I was just asleep.
Awesome. Mai, what about you?
So when I first got there, I was like, I was trying to assess all the demographic. I said, oh, there's, people with my age. And like, I feel much better because I was like, am I the only old person on the show? So I felt much better when I saw, a few people, that are in my same age group.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't do anything in the hotel. I wrote a lot, and my experience. Yeah, I'm like Jada. I was like following the rules. I want to make sure that I didn't get picked up. I did something wrong. I was so afraid.
Awesome. So I'm going to pivot away just a little bit for my first question, just because so it's not so repetitive for our watching, because I want the world to know who all of you are. So can you tell us like what you guys were doing prior to Squid Game, occupation, who you guys were and we'll start with Camilla and we'll go back around to Mai again. Camilla?
Yeah, I'm a software developer full time. I work for a medical software company, and on top of that, I'm also a full-time content creator. And I work with major brands like Dunkin', which is really cool. I actually just got this in the mail, which ironic timing. It's like a little Dunkin' pop figure of me from like the Super Bowl commercial with like the outfit.
Nice.
And I even put my cat in it. I literally just got it in the mail.
Awesome.
Nice. Nice. Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, I've done at this point just about every job there is. Right before the show, I was part-time sales at a gym, and then part-time serving at a diner. Just that was how I pay my bills. But I'm an actor, so the reason why I went in reality TV is I come from a place that has no connections to Hollywood or anywhere like that. So I figured if I could get the slightest bit of attention, I don't need a million people to see me. I just need the one right person to see me.
Yep, that's right.
And that was kind of my mentality with like doing a reality show, because it's not something that I had like always dreamed of doing. But I was like, if I can get the one right person to see me, I can start getting just in the rooms of these auditions, because to even get an audition and a chance to be told no is hard enough. So that's all I was kind of looking for.
Smart move, dude.
I can attest to that, and that's where this picture came from, I guess, right there.
Oh, we forgot to tell you there'll be surprises tonight.
I forgot to. Maybe I should have warned them. Should I have warned you guys that there's going to be surprises?
No.
Yes.
Well,
please.
now it's on the back.
We're having fun tonight over here.
That's going to be rough
I'm
for
not
me.
good at taking
Miss Jada. No, you're an actor. There's all types of acting shots out there, buddy. That's awesome, though. It's awesome. Jada, please.
Yeah, for me, so I have a background in fashion. I graduated from LAM, which is a fashion business school in Manhattan. So I kind of always stayed in the realm of PR, fashion, and social media. My role before going into Squid Games, I was influencer coordinator. So I helped connect influencers and brands together to do the collabs. And my background before that was social media management and PR. So kind of just staying in that realm of marketing is my degree in. And I also am a full-time influencer. I'm a fashion, beauty, and lifestyle creator on Instagram and TikTok. And I've worked with brands like Skims, Neutrogena. So I just kind of like continue to basically play dress up for the rest of my life is my goal.
Yeah. All right.
Fantastic. Mr. Dan.
Yeah, so my occupation and my job are two different things. My occupation, I'm a physician assistant. I was in orthopedic surgery for about 18 years, and now I'm a medical director of an occupational health clinic. That's my occupation. My job, however, what I really like to do, I'm a father of 5. It's why I wake up every morning. They encouraged me to apply for this show, and I hate work. I hate everything about having to go to work, even though I love what I do. I wanted to stay home. I wanted the show to win this money so I could stay home and hang out with my kids. So that was my impetus to do this. So that my job and my occupation are two different things.
Yes, sir.
But Dan, you forgot to tell people that you're also Mr. Olympia.
Man.
You forgot to tell people that.
Oh, look at that one! Look at
you
that!
Forgot to tell people
Acting like he didn't set up the photo on that.
Oh, geez, Dylan, I like your sweater better.
All right. I know a little bit about this guy because I've listened to some music. So go ahead, Phil.
Yeah. Well, I used to be a scuba diving instructor. I studied education and psychology in school, so I'd worked as a teacher. I'd also like bounced around a bunch of different jobs. But most recently, I was working as a scuba diving instructor, living in Hawaii, kind of because I had pretty much given up on the dream of like being a musician and being an actor and stuff like that. But now that the show's out, things are different. So excited about it.
Cool.
Awesome.
How old are you, Mai?
I was an immigration officer for Department of Homeland Security, and I've been sitting behind the desk for a long time. And so this break really, it was liberating. And so now I'm out of office job. Now I'm doing something that I want, that I like.
So please explain what was your last day like?
It's very
at the office. I mean, at the Homeland. Did you?
Yeah. So everybody works from home, and I was trying to leave the office without anybody knowing, which is good. So everybody worked from home that day.
Yeah.
So with me and my supervisor just talking, and then I left the building. That was it. But when they found out, it's like, no, you can't leave. So they throw a gone away party for me after the show.
That's nice.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
All right, so I'm going to get back to Squid Game. My first question about the show is that prior to going to London, did you guys strategize? Did you watch the show? Did you strategize about how to go in, or did you just go in cold and just take whatever came to you?
Start with Dylan and go to Camilla there. Let's go clockwise, right? That's clockwise. Yeah.
All right, Dylan.
Yeah, so for me, what I did is first I rewatched a show, then I watched the Mr. Beast version of the show, and then I would just go on, I went on YouTube and just look up how to the best strategies for the cookie game, how to play for marbles, how to play the strategy games, the math games. Now I don't know how to play them anymore, but at the time, I was studying all that. For red light, green light, I was more so just the show the last couple weeks. Once I found out I was on, I would just start doing wall sits and stuff like that. But I kind of had an idea of what I was going to do for that, which completely changed because of how Red Light Green Light ended up playing out. But just had basic ideas, and then watching the show just to see the kind of sequence. But it changed a little bit once we got in there and the first twist happened. I was like, okay, I have no idea what's going on anymore, and then it just kind of all went out the window. But yeah, that was my prep.
All right. Jada?
What did I do? So I actually, like I said, I rewatched the show maybe I think 2 or 3 times even before I knew I was on it. So I was very familiar with the order of the games. My own actually was more so active listening because I grasp things pretty quickly. So if they're telling us the rules of the game, I made sure that I listened to the whole thing during the actual show. So kind of to get in the sequence of that was beforehand. If my mom's telling me to do something, I'm going to listen to her the whole time, make sure I don't kind of assume the directions, I guess, is more so. And then I actually used to do a step class My uncle has a step class that he hosts every Wednesday, and during it, I would make sure I stop when he said stop and start like trying to get like quick cadences for red light, green light. And I was an athlete, so I'm pretty fast. I was really comfortable with doing red light, green light. The only games I would say I was worried about the most was tug of war, which we didn't play, thank God. But I was scared of tug of war because, like, I'm a 5'3", 125-pound woman. Like, there's not much pulling I can do on that rope. So that was the game. And then I would say Delgado was another game I was a little worried about just because it can go left even if you have like a strategy.
Dan.
Yeah, I practiced all the games that were in there, but I kind of concentrated more. I'm a huge reality competition fan, so I concentrated on a few other things like working out. I also concentrated on calorie restriction. But we got way more food than I was ready for. I mean, I was eating like 250 calories a day to get ready for this thing. And I was probably sleeping about 2 hours a night, forcing myself to only get a couple hours just to be ready for that part of the game, to be able to stay awake and watch who was talking, who was going to the bathroom, you know, with who. So a lot of my stuff was physical, you know, getting ready for that lack of food, the lack of sleep. That's what I kind of concentrated on most.
Right on. So.
I did like the opposite of that. I like forgot that I had applied until like they called me and told me I was in. So I hadn't even seen the show. So I did watch I watched the season 1 of the show. And then my plan was honestly just to wing it. You know what I mean? Like just kind of vibe and see what happens, and you know, make some friends. Because I mean, in no circumstance did I ever really realistically think that I was going to make it very far. And so the fact that I did is nothing short of a miracle. But yeah, my plan was just to vibe, have a good time, make some new friends, do something cool and unique. And whenever I got eliminated, I'd be at peace with it. And then I just kept winning. It was crazy.
Mai, how about you?
So I binge watched for 2 days, and then once I got selected, I rewatched the show for the Squid Game only because I didn't understand how Squid Game played out. So I keep watching and watching. I have no strategy going to the game other than just to know how to, you know, do certain things. Like, you know, for the cookie, I hold my saliva for the whole time we're in line because I was afraid that I wouldn't produce enough saliva to cut the cookie.
I think that was everybody's strategy was to lick the cookie, right? Was that everybody's main?
Right.
Yeah.
But everybody always wanted to talk to me, and I have all this saliva in my mouth. I was like,
Oh man.
Camille?
Yeah. I didn't really watch the show beforehand, but while I was waiting in my hotel room, kind of quarantined, is when I looked up some YouTube videos of like how to do certain games, which I kind of looked at before, just to give myself some like background knowledge of it. I knew if I studied it too hard, I would hyper focus on it, and I wouldn't be able to like be flexible if I needed to be. So I kind of had like a little bit of like Phil's perspective, but also like Jada's perspective. My biggest thing was to go in there and be like a social butterfly because I never wanted to give someone a reason to be like, oh, well, I never talked to her, so I feel comfortable letting her go. So like, I think a lot of the people here can kind of attest to like, I kind of got to know, like said hi to at least, I would say like from the beginning of getting into the dorms, I knew maybe about like 95% of the people in there by at least saying hi, knowing some random thing about them, maybe where they were from, a first name, do they have kids, like something random about them. And that was my way of one. I did like pageants before, and I won Miss Congeniality. I never won the pageants, but I won Miss Congeniality like 3 years in a row. And I think that can translate into me just being the kind of person that I am. So.
There we go.
Yep.
We knew that was coming.
So next question, right?
Yep.
I think that was mine. You guys filmed for 16 hours a day. What did you do on your downtime? Did you have downtime?
oh, have downtime. A talent show.
Yes.
I'm kind of disappointed it didn't air that because it was so fun.
I heard about this talent show,
Yes, I was the brains behind the talent show, and I will say that loud and proud. Okay, I was so bored in there.
Brandon, do we have a picture of the talent show?
No, unfortunately, we don't. I wish we did. Wish we
It was
did.
too impressive.
Dan, I
Nobody here-
promise I
you
would
don't have any
show
pic-
it.
All right, Phil. We'll go Phil's way and go to Dan next and go backwards. So go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was just a lot of just laying around. Like we I guess shot for 16 hours a day, but it felt like we were on camera for 100% of the time. But it wasn't all the time that like something was happening. So there'd be like we'd do like one day where there'd be a game, one day there'd be absolutely nothing, one day there'd be like a mini game or whatever. And so a lot of it was just kind of laying around, just kind of chatting and talking to people. And personally, that was my favorite part, was just like getting to hear everybody's stories. Because like, when are you ever like in a situation where you don't have your phone, you don't have any outside contact or any other distractions? Except for just to talk to people and get to know them and stuff. And so even though we were only there for 17 days total, like it still felt like I knew everyone that I talked to like pretty intimately, because we had literally nothing else to do except just learn about each other. And so I think that was the most magical part.
That's a social experiment in itself that we don't get these days, because our phones are attached to us and social media and everything. So that would be interesting just by itself without the Squid Game. So, all right, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, there was way more downtime than there was, activity time for sure. People found interesting and very insightful ways to stay busy with soccer balls that one kid made and volleyball. But I spent my downtime, I was watching and listening and talking to everyone and trying to see who was talking to who. And I kind of laid low in the background. I didn't want to stick out. I didn't want to be anybody that anybody remembered. I didn't want to worry about being on camera in the beginning. I wanted to be on camera at the end. Yeah. So my strategy was to listen. That's why I slept so little. I was up all night repeating everything I knew about Jada and Dylan and Phil and Mai, in case I figured there was going to eventually be a test where they asked you, how well do you know your castmates? And I probably would have got at least a 93 on that sucker, and it never happened.
Wow. I love this, man. This is great.
Jada.
Yeah, so for me, in the beginning, I would say I was kind of playing it like Camilla. I was just trying to make sure I like introduce myself to as much people as I can, which is not something that I typically do. I will say one thing the show really helped me with is, being able to like talk to strangers or like go up to people and like make myself uncomfortable to then, be comfortable. So that was my, I guess, strategy in the beginning and during the downtime. But towards the end of it, all of my closest people went home during cookie. So Delgana. So I was like a lone wolf in there after that, just kind of walking around. I would say at the end is when I probably started sleeping more, because I just had nothing else to do. And like, I don't talk to many people. So it's like, I just didn't know what else to kind of occupy my time with, other than like when there was a lot of people in the dorms. Like when it started going down, like after really warships, there wasn't that much to do. So I just kind of slept.
Dylan.
Yeah, I don't remember like actively thinking of doing anything during the downtime. I just remember like just walking around talking to random people. It was just like a weird thing, because you could be talking to someone from Kansas, like shuffle over twice, and now you're talking to like a surfer from Australia, and then you shuffle over again and you're talking to like a Nordic swimmer, that's about to do a race after this. It's that's like awesome, it was crazy like that. So I was just kind of walking around and just meeting all sorts of people. Like I didn't really know anyone outside the country. Now I feel like I could go to like 10 different countries and hit up someone and be like, yo, I'm here. Like, where's the best places you want to hang out? Like, that was like the coolest part about Squid Game for me.
Camilla.
I think this is going to potentially be the same answer as but during our downtime or my downtime, I like opened up my own little beauty parlor where I was French braiding people's hair. And I was doing that for a while. And at one point I noticed that Mai was doing it too. So I made this joke that like we were like the two hairstylists in the dorm, because she would have like a little line of like people being like, oh, I'm going to go get it done by Mai. And then I had a little line of like people that I knew that wanted French braids by me. And then you kind of see it afterwards. So Roland, who is on the show, he was like one of my closest friends at one point. And once I left, he went to Mai as well to get French braids. So we were just like the little French braid queens in the dorm.
That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She's cracking up.
All right. So what's the next question?
Where are we
I
at?
have the next question.
Yeah, I bet. Yep.
What was the hardest part about being a contestant on Squid Games?
Dan, let's start with you.
Other than going home, losing the way I did, the hardest part was red light, green light for me, man. It was, listen, I'm older than all these whippersnappers here, except for and I've been through a lot of stuff. I got hit in the face with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, exploded my face, almost died after COVID with multiple blood clots in my lungs. Red light, green light torches all of that stuff. It was the hardest physical thing I've ever had to do. The cold was brutal. It took so long. It was not fun. It was not fun at all. That was the hardest part for me. That red light, green light was terrible.
Phil, let's do Phil and go around.
Yeah, I mean, red light, green light was easily like the worst thing I've ever done ever. But other than that, for me, like honestly, the physical challenges of just like being super cold. Like I got Brazilian skin. Like I'm not meant for that kind of weather. Like I was cold every single second I spent in that godforsaken country until the moment I left. And there was just like things like that, you know, not sleeping right, the not eating right. That was definitely, it was very challenging. But for me, it just kind of like mellowed me out a lot. I was just like, I don't really have any energy. Like whatever, you know, just take a nap. Maybe it helps. I don't know.
Hey, Mai, how about you?
The hardest thing is the circle of trust. I hated that game because, you know, I thought once you get picked or, you know, you get to choose somebody who put a coffin on your table, you know, you'll be like on the safe side. But no, you keep sitting there over and over and over. I mean, they torture us. I was crying everything. And like for 6 rounds, I was crying. It's like, oh my God, there's another person. I was like, that was the most stressful game I ever played.
Camilla.
It's funny because it's like when everyone else, like I can't pinpoint one thing. Like the sleeping wasn't a huge thing. I'm a huge foodie, so like the low calorie, like super bland, like boiled chicken was like not my cup of tea personally. But I mean, red light, green light was incredibly difficult. I remember thinking like that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, and I'm a black belt, so like I kind of got put through the ringer to get my black belt, so that felt really difficult. And then Delgana, I mean, I was in a situation where I got the like quite literally the worst shape. Just the stress that comes with that, knowing that like on the actual show, most people didn't do well on that shape. So just preparing myself to like get through that was probably one of the hardest things.
Dylan.
The food was definitely tough. For sure. The one thing I will I'm not going to take full credit for it because it's not like a genius idea, but I was one of the first people that I saw when we would go into the showers. I just saw people just raw dogging it and just walking in their bare feet in the like locker room showers we had. And I was like, oh no. I was taking like 3 or 4 towels and creating a floor to step on so I could get to the shower and then quickly run back to my clothes. I was not stepping on that floor with the 400 people in there. No way.
Yeah, no, that'd be crazy.
Jada.
Okay, well, I have a various amount of answers because for red light, green light, that was obviously super intense. But I was wearing shoes that was like a size and a half smaller than me. My feet were like this in there.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was so bad because the first pair that they gave me were too big for my feet, and I have small feet. Like I'm a size 6. I was wearing like a US size 3 on my feet in the game, and it was awful. It was awful. It was awful. I couldn't feel my toes for maybe 3 days after that. And I was scared. I'm like, I'm going to have to get this amputated. Like my toes not going back to life. But actually the hardest game I would say for me, and I know this was for me just because of the way my emotions were, was actually marbles. Like when I got eliminated, because I was down bad for like the day before that. Like I just couldn't, I was just so nerve wracked just because I didn't want it to be between me and mine. I'm pretty sure we'll probably talk about that. But going up against a friend that I already knew so much about me and my life in there, just made it so much harder for me.
Yeah. Awesome. Next question, Tim.
Tim?
I think it's you. Yeah.
Okay.
Number 8. Yeah.
Oh, no, I did 8, 9.
She did 8, 9.
We're on 10.
No, you did.
Yeah.
10.
Okay.
I think we're on 11. Sorry, we're on 10. What was the hardest challenge? We already said that one, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have.
So how was it? What was the easiest challenge then? How about that? Let's just let's start with Jada and go the other way to Dylan and so on. What was the easiest challenge? Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was the easiest, but Delgana actually for me, just because like the strategy or the method that I had for the cookie, I think made it super simple. I finished my cookie within like 2 minutes. I had like 7 minutes and like 30 seconds on the clock, so whatever that time is. But what I did, I triangle, so lucky me. But my kind of technique for the shape was I knew that there was air bubbles in the cookie, so I kind of like created 3 separate lines outside of the triangle for like a line of demarcation. So if any air bubbles were popping, it would go straight to those lines rather than like the long, deeper lines in the triangle. So I did do like the licking method in the front and the back, but it wasn't doing anything for me. And I was just sitting there with my hands like this. I was so nervous. So I would say that gave me like a clean cut on the triangle, and then the rest I just snapped off.
Dylan, how about you?
Nothing was really easy for me. I don't know. I was like struggling along. I guess like mentally I was stressing out for warships, but realistically I was kind of just standing there. So that would be the easiest, but I was sweating bullets. So I don't know.
You weren't just standing there. You were a big part, Dylan.
Yeah. Good job, Dan.
Camilla.
That was like the worst experience of my life. Like to this day, that was. So I'm gonna backhand on that. Like theoretically, warship should have been the easiest. However, it's so stressful knowing that your fate was in someone else's hands. So like I didn't get to choose what boat I got to go in. I had a bad feeling about the boat that I was in. And I couldn't really say anything, and I kind of like took a step back, and you're just kind of like a sitting duck. And Mai was on my team, and then on the other team was Dan and Dylan and other people. So in theory that should have been the easiest, but that was like I watched that scene and I like cry like a little kid, and I just get super emo over it. So in theory it should have been easy, but it's the hardest thing and the worst thing I've ever done.
Mai.
I'm sorry. What's the question again?
What was the easiest challenge for you during the competition?
The easiest challenge. Is there easy challenge?
Yeah, I think
okay. I guess the easiest challenge was me and Jada and Ashley and I think Dylan. You were like the orange juicer. Yeah, I think that's the easiest challenge because we were under a clock and it wasn't stressful. But then I didn't know the outcome of after the juicing. So I would say the juicer was the easiest.
I for sure thought you were going to say playing Jada and marbles. That's where I thought that was.
Don't go there. It wasn't easy. Jada kicked my ass
in the beginning, and then I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either. I said, I was down to 2 marbles, and I said, "Oh shit, Jada's gonna win." And I didn't think anything of it. So, okay. I said, Jada, okay, I hope that she wins, and I didn't think anything about getting eliminated. But then all of a sudden, anyway, the history is history now. But I don't want to.
Came down to 1 marble. I'm like, you got my marbles. Like, poof, waterfall.
I know, and I lost it too.
Yeah.
Phil.
For me, it was definitely Battleship. I mean, I just stood there and let my boy Captain Scott take the L first. But honestly, for me during that game, the only difficult part was I had Dash next to me, and Dash was just having like a full like meltdown or whatever. And so, but I was like, you know what? I'm perfectly trained for the situation, so I was taking him through my scuba like breathing exercise, and I was like, it's okay, just in for 8 seconds, out for 8 seconds, like it's gonna be okay, like don't worry about it. Like, I'm perfectly trained for this. Like this is my job every day at work. So.
Dan.
The easiest one for me was it was like a game we played in between the actual challenges. There was a punch pad where we picked, everybody voted somebody to be out of the game, and 3 people went out, and I wasn't on anybody's radar. Nobody in my circle of friends was on anybody's radar. So I just sat back on that. That was easy.
Right on.
Everything else was extremely difficult.
Wow. Okay. All right. Was that everybody? Well, I have a pivot real quick off of that because that was one thing I thought about when at first, like when you get eliminated, with the exception of one person on the screen, but when you get eliminated, were there people you were closest to that it was really sad to see them go? And then when you how were those goodbyes like? Because I'm come from filmmaking, so we'll be in the foxhole for 30 days or 2 months or whatever in hotels and everything, and like you build a camaraderie. So did you build camaraderies with specific people, and then was it hard to let that go when you had to leave? We'll start with Camilla right there and go to Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, it was super difficult. I lost a lot of friends in Cookie. I had a friend from Hawaii, and she was amazing. Her name was Passion, and I lost her. And then when I got eliminated, I remember sobbing, and then I remember looking at and Mai was sobbing, and Big Chad, like there were so many people that I had gotten to know that were just so sad that there were so many of us who got hit in our boats. So it was really hard. I mean, you're like in this bubble where you're like, you think that's the end all be all and you'll never see them again. And in a way, like it's not untrue, but it's also not true at all either. So it's like I've been able to talk to people since then, which is great. But like in that moment, you're feeling all the feels, and it kind of feels like the end all be all, and it feels like you'll like never see them again, and like you're like really going away forever. So
I understand.
6 feet under is what it felt like.
I understand, Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, being in there, I just remember we didn't really have time to like say goodbye. So like for like Dalgona, like I remember that was like the first time like you built friendships, and then like not all of you make it out because red light, green light, you don't know anyone, so it's like doesn't really matter. And I remember my friend Justin like was the first person, like I was like doing a cookie, and I just hear like the pop of his. I was like, oh my, like I freaked out. I was like, oh my God. And then when I passed, I remember just like seeing him there, and like they bring you to the other room, and I was like, I don't like really know his last name yet. Like his name's Justin, his number's something. Like I don't even know who. Like I love him, but I only know his first name. So it's like, will I ever see this guy again? Like it was like stuff like that was like the hardest.
Jada.
Yeah, I mean, similar to Camilla, I think we can all attest that 2 days in there felt like, I don't know, like a week, a month, whatever, because my two closest girls, they were named Arlene and Darlene. They were 095 and 096, and they were twins, and they were the first people that I really connected with. Like, it was like the three triplets in there. And then when they got sent home, I was so focused on my cookie that I didn't even know, like, their squibs got popped already. So I'm already walking out, my hands are shaking, and I'm like, what happened? Like, are you okay? And I'm just trying to finish my cookie because I was so nervous. And then when I got into the dorm and I saw that they weren't there, I was all alone in the back because the way my bed was set up, I could kind of see the whole room, and they weren't under me, they weren't by me, and then I was like alone. So I really felt it, I think, in that moment. And then that's when I kind of had to connect with more people. But yeah, when people leave, like, it was definitely hard. And then even like versing Mai in marbles, when before we started, I was sobbing already because I knew it was one of us, and then when it was me, I was sobbing way more. So it was just hard.
Wow, Dan.
Again, I said I'm a big reality competition guy, and I watch these shows, and these people are together for like 3 minutes, and they're like, "Oh my God, I love you, man! I love you, man!" Well, I can attest that 24/7 around people, it brings you close really quick. And I met up with a guy, Marcus, player 209, before we did red light, green light. I mean, we were buddies from the beginning. And they kept preaching, we want this to be a fully immersive experience. He immersed in this thing. And when I had to play him in marbles, listen, this was the biggest love story of the season, Marcus and I, and they didn't really show much of it. But when I had to play him in marbles and I beat him, when I looked over and I saw his squid pop, something in my brain just went, like, I literally thought he died. It was brutal. Like, it hurt in my heart. I'm like, I just killed one of my best friends in the whole world. Meanwhile, I knew the guy for 15 days, but when you're around somebody that much, you really can bond so quickly. I didn't believe it. I used to make fun of people on shows, and now I can't do it anymore because it's real. The way you can bond with people so quickly, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Kane.
Yeah, that was definitely the most challenging like aspect emotionally during the game, was just becoming so close to these people, over a seemingly short amount of time. But when you got nothing else to do, you just connect with these people. And so when they would get eliminated, it really did feel like a real death. Like I lost Jackie, one of my homies, one of my OGs on the glass bridge, and just like seeing her walk away, I was just, in my heart, I was like, I don't really care what happens to me anymore. Like I don't want to be here. Like she was my rock, she was my everything. So that was really tough. And like at the same time, like you don't know if like it felt very real. Like you don't know if Netflix is clapping people out in the parking lot. You know what I mean? Like, what's really God. So
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so your question is a little bit different. Like you obviously went all the way through, but how was that feeling to like that moment when you found out that you were the winner of this entire thing? How was that for you? I mean, was it, obviously you're excited, but you lost people along the way too? Were you close to people throughout the challenge as well? You're
on mute again.
You're mute. Yep.
Oh, definitely. I mean, 3 weeks is a long time for me, and 24/7, you have a family, not just friend. You have a family, that support you, that motivate you, and that's what and Chad and I, we formed friendship because we're like the number next to each other in the tent from the start. So our friendship formed, and then when the hard times hit, when he got eliminated, I had no one. It really hit home hard. It's like like everyone said, it's like you're gonna see them again, but it's not the same when you in such a mental state. You're like, it's like you just lost someone. You just left you lost your left arm or something, because that person has always been your sidekick. You boost you on, support you, and motivate you, whatever. And that's why it's like I lost it. It's like, how dare you left me. So yeah, because believe it or not, Squid Game, the challenge family, anywhere that you want to have a party or need support, they're always there. And that's what I'm so proud of, all of the Squiddies on that show, because we're our family. And even the other reality show, they said they don't have that kind of bond. And I have to say that we have the strong bond, just for what we endure.
That's great.
That's awesome. So there actually are Squiddies. That's a trademarked Squiddies. Is that a thing?
Yes.
Awesome.
It's our set of Squiddies.
Awesome. That's
There you
awesome. Awesome. All right. Next question, guys.
Let's see. Well, that was one of the answers. How has Squid Games changed your life? And the next question was, this does not pertain to you. What were your plans for your $4.56 million if you won?
We'll start with Phil, and then we'll go Dan and clockwise. Go ahead, Phil.
Well, I mean, realistically, I never in my wildest dreams ever thought I was going to make it that far. That was not something I was worried about. That was not something I was planning for. But I remember thinking, like, in those final moments, like, oh my God, like this could really be it. This could change everything. And sort of the only thing that was going through my mind was just, wanting to give back, wanting to help. Because I feel like I've been helped so much my entire life to get to where I am today. And so I wanted to be able to give back to the world, give back to my community, give back to the environment, give back to whatever. But it was also just like, I was pretty stressed out, there was a lot going on in those last
I can't imagine.
This guy was stressed out. This was stressed out.
Yeah. But it also it represented like an opportunity for me to follow my dreams too, and to really like be the person I want to be, versus just kind of like slaving away and just working whatever jobs to put food on the table.
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted to be a musician, I've always wanted to be an actor, and so it really represented like the opportunity to do that. And in a lot of ways, like after the show ended, like I'm doing that now. It gave me like a really cool platform. It gave me the opportunity to pursue music. And so that's kind of like a once in a lifetime experience that I'll never, forget. And definitely I'm going to milk for all it's worth.
Awesome. Definitely. Awesome. Dan.
Yeah, I had a little different feeling than Phil. I had no doubt that I was winning that money from the first day I walked in there. I believed it. I was trying to make it happen. And I have 5 kids. So I have a lot of weddings, hopefully a lot of weddings, a lot of colleges, a lot of expenses. So for me, I was going in there to win a life-changing amount of money so I could take care of my kids and hopefully have them start their adult lives without debt, without that college debt, like I've had to, get through. That would be the best gift. I don't need anything. I have 5 great kids. I got a great wife. I don't need anything for myself. I wanted to win that money for them. So that's why it was so painful to walk out the way I did. But that's what I was going to do. I was going to set them up, maybe buy my mom a car and whatever, go to dinner. That was it. That was all for them.
America just fell in love with Dan. Right there.
Get in line, baby. They won.
They're like, oh, he loves his children and his wife and his grandchildren. Awesome. Jada.
Yeah, for me, I would say I was just like, Dan, I swore on everything I was going to win. Like, I legitimately thought I was going to win. But the main thing for me was basically making my mom comfortable. After her and my dad separated, we hit like a couple of financial hardships. So that was number one, pay off her debt, pay off mine. But also I mentioned on the show that I donated my kidney to my brother. So I wanted to donate a portion of the money to a kidney donor assistance center just because when I was going through the process, I got financial help from them. From the National Kidney Organization. So I'm like, I knew I would have not been able to do that without that money. So if I was to be able to help somebody else or help multiple families, go through that process with whether it's lodging, food, flight, travel, like I wanted to definitely put any kind of help there I can.
That's amazing. Dylan.
Yeah, for me, definitely retiring my mom, for sure. She would never raise a finger again. That was number 1. 2 is more so, I was just kind of thinking, like, I had no, like, specific idea with, like, what exactly, but I was leaning towards, like, funding of some sort of film, some sort of feature film, whether that was an investment in someone else's or a script of my own. But it was definitely would have been something towards that.
Nice. Camilla.
So I am a girl who comes from 2 immigrant parents that are from the Middle East. And my dad grew up in like a village where he didn't have a house. Like they built a house out of like mud and stone, no bathrooms, like barter sheep for bread and that kind of thing. So when they came to this country almost 30 years ago, my dad put himself through school, learned English, and now he's a chemical engineer and he owns 2 businesses. So I wanted, and growing up, like I never knew the struggle that he had gone through, like the fact that he would start. I only learned this a few years ago that like he would not eat in order to make sure that I was eating. And I always had like the best of the best when I was a kid, but I didn't know it was because my dad took hits like throughout my whole childhood to make me feel like I was just as equal or I had just as much like wealth, let's say, as like the rest of the kids. So my thing was I just wanted to be able to give back a fraction of what my dad had given me to him. The Kurdish people are very much they like always have dealt with genocide. So I just wanted to also be able to help that community overseas.
Well, I'm really glad, and again, like I'm just glad that there are shows like this. That again, you all had awesome motivations. Like from the moment you even thought you were going to be on the show to the moment you actually arrived in London. Like you guys had like really awesome reasons for why you were there. Really, you had a great why. So and I'm again, although didn't work out for most of you, but like that's still awesome though, and that doesn't mean that, again, this could lead to other things so that you can have those things.
There's more opportunities for all of us. I know that there's
100%. So I'm so happy about that. And also that you guys, and you said this earlier, all of you did in different ways. You met a lot of amazing people, a lot of amazing family, and a lot of amazing friends for life from this thing too, which is awesome. I'm so happy to hear that too.
Yeah.
So Yvette, do we have another question?
So first of all, you guys just like, I'm like in tears right now. I can't even handle myself right now. You guys have, I met some of you in person, most of you on FaceTime. And I have to say that everybody's story has touched me. And I just want to thank you guys because, you guys are household names, whether you want to, you were seen millions of times and and things like that. And each of you bring a story to Squid Games, and you've developed friendships and things like that, lifelong friendships, I'm sure. So I just wanted to say that's really cool. Love that.
Brazil.
You guys are awesome like that. That got me in my feels too, because I love that good motivation, good people that doing things for the right reasons. There's a lot of people not doing things for the right reason in this country and all over the world. So to hear that warms my heart. So I commend all of you. Like, you all are winners. I know that's a cliche thing to say, but because you have the motivations that you had, you guys won by being the people that, even just being on this platform,
and also from talking to everybody here, they all would vouch that, a great person, did win the competition overall.
absolutely.
Anyway, now, Maya, are you going to come to the convention?
What convention?
We have an Atlantic City Celebrity Convention.
Wait a minute.
What I texted you about.
Right there. There it is.
When is that?
The end of July.
Oh, okay. I will. I will
you have
try.
You have to bring a uniform.
I think somebody had a question.
The only uniform I have is my tuxedo, and in the middle of July wearing a tuxedo, that's going to be very unbearing. But I do want to share something with you guys.
Yes, please.
So Phil and I wrote a song together. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
We would love to hear it. Yes.
How do I have everybody here? I don't know how to do that.
Well, Phil's the music guy. Could you have? Can you cue
Phil
something up?
Maybe Phil can send it to Yvette.
Can you? Yeah. Let me send it to Phil, and then he can play it.
Is this the tux there, Mai? Is that it?
Yes.
There we go.
That's the original tux.
Awesome. You actually still have that?
Yes, I still have that.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hold on for a minute. Let me give it to Phil so he can play it.
All right.
And while we're waiting, everybody else, somebody had asked in the chat if everybody's going to be wearing their uniform. I'm sorry, their numbers for the convention or uniforms with your numbers.
No, I'll be honest. I probably won't. I'll bring it. I will bring it.
Maybe for the photo ops. Maybe for the professional photo ops.
Maybe for the professional photo ops, because I will say, and I'm not blowing smoke there, quite a few people have reached out to me about you guys. So, like, even specific agents have asked about you guys. So again, there's buzz in regards to the appearance at the convention. So again, we're honored to have, just because when I'm glad that Yvette put this out to us, because again, I wasn't familiar. I'd seen the show, the actual show, but for me, it's once I educated myself a little bit on this and saw kind of how much of a phenomenon it was, and I see your fans out there or whatever. So and I get calls. I've gotten calls over the last couple months about you. So people are looking forward to it. So you might want to, if you have the outfits, you might want to bring them even for the professional photo ops, because that could be just a good thing that somebody might want to take photos with, a group photo with you guys in the outfit. So just saying, if you haven't. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
it's coming with me. I just don't want to be in it all day.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair enough. Fair enough.
And why, since I met everybody except for you, I cannot wait to meet you in person. So it's gonna be fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
We'll definitely send you some information, Mai, and we'd love to have you if you're available. Come with the rest of these amazing people.
Yep, we'll make sure you get there and you have a place to stay, a nice place to stay, and everybody has a great time, and you can have a table and you can sign autographs and charge people, whatever you want, and make some money for the weekend and have a great time with everybody and smile.
Are we still queuing up the music? Because I have a quick question too. When you guys were doing the events, like the charity events with Yvette and all that stuff, how did you guys feel about the fans that came up and were engaging with you about you being on this show? Because we've had a lot of other guests that are movie stars and musicians and things or whatever, and they always everybody has a different gets in their feels about it, because it makes you feel good that people acknowledge what you do. So how did it feel wherever you were doing these shows in Philly or wherever, meeting your fans? We'll start with Dan there.
For me, it just doesn't make any sense. I told you, I'm a huge Survivor guy. It's the only thing I've ever wanted to do is play Survivor, and now I go to these viewing parties. I went to the Survivor finale, and they want to meet me. It makes no sense to me at all. I don't understand it, but I love it because it's it's cool for people to recognize you. Hey, there's the Squid Game. That guy was on Squid Game or whatever. So it's cool, and I got very good at it. I didn't steal any hamburgers or anything like that. So
Dan, we went we went an hour, Dan, without mentioning this freaking hamburger.
I got very good at it, so I've had a lot of positive interactions with people.
Jada, how do you feel about meeting your fans?
Well, I would say it's kind of trippy, like similar to Dan. I work in the city, so I live in New Jersey, but I work in the city, and often when I'm traveling up there, I get like stopped and recognized. Just last week, I went into a coffee shop, and sorry, little story. I went into a coffee shop with my coworker, and one of the employees, she came up to me during Fashion Week and had like a photo of us, and she goes, "Oh my God, I met you before." So that was kind of crazy that she remembered meeting me before the coffee shop and just having that moment like be brought back. And like random times I'll get stopped on the road, so it makes me feel good. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, like who I am, like as I should. But other than that, I'm just excited to experience more.
Awesome, Dylan.
I mean, I don't get like anytime I've met someone that has like seen me from the show, it's been really cool to like that they like have seen me somewhere else, and it's weird. It's like a weird feeling because I don't know. It's always been a good interaction. It's always been fun.
Cool.
I probably don't get recognized as much as everyone else in here, but when I do, it's always a good interaction. It's always a good time.
Cool.
Camilla.
I've always wanted to like entertain. Growing up, I always thought that I would be like, I would have my own show of like Lizzie McGuire or That's So Raven. Like I would be the Middle Eastern brown version of that. So just coming from like a small state where like I've kind of already made a name. I'm from the smallest state. I'm from Rhode Island. So like everyone kind of knows everyone here. So just the fact that like I could even branch out even the smallest bit outside of my state has been really cool. There was like a red light, green light party that had happened in New York, and there was someone that came up to me and was like, I absolutely loved you. And it was cool because I didn't have as much airtime as maybe like some other people, but just like being perceived as someone who was like really solid, like really cool, really like just someone who like then they found me on social media and I'm like someone that they like. It's just it's cool to hear those kinds of things.
Yeah. Maya, what about you?
Well, believe it or not, I have maybe a handful of people who recognize me.
Really?
The funniest part was I was on the airplane going to LA, and the lady came out of nowhere. She passed by my chair. She brought her phone out and she showed me, and I said yes. It's like that. I think that was a very memorable moment. But nobody recognized me.
Honestly, better for you because you're the millionaire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would go.
I don't care.
I was gonna ask you how many people hit you up already because that's
actually even right after the show, a lot of people, I guess they use my name and they Venmo me and they PayPal me and say, "Can I have some money?"
Oh gosh, yeah.
I can imagine. Audacity is so crazy.
I can imagine, yeah.
I'm your sixth cousin on this side of the fence.
I know, right?
Well,
I have a song ready. If you ready?
All right, let's do it. Let's end our show with the song. Yes.
Let's see if this still works. Hold on. Hold on.
I can't wait to hear it.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do we get here?
Lost and found.
How do we get here?
Lost and found.
So I think life keeps moving in this sphere, round and round. What choice did we make? Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Life keeps moving in this sphere, round and round. Unexperienced.
And give and take.
I wanna sphere. Round and 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 round.
I get
All
it.
right.
So
So,
good.
did you guys do that remotely, or did you do it together? Or
Mai actually came over to my house, and we hung out in my basement in my little recording studio, and we just banged it out all in one day. She stayed over, had dinner with my family. It was a beautiful time.
Beautiful family.
That's cool.
Congratulations, guys.
Nice. That's awesome.
So
You guys are
is that out?
adorable.
Is that out? Is that out, or is it to somewhere, iTunes or Spotify, or is it
So
just?
no, so this song is for my show, which I'm still in the process of filming right now. So stay tuned.
Cool.
All right.
Hey. All right.
Congratulations, guys.
Awesome.
Well, yeah. So we've come close to the end here. I want to give my thank you to all of you. We look forward to meeting all of you in Atlantic City on July 25th.
It's been a
And
pleasure
you guys,
meeting you all.
yeah, it's going to be a good time. You guys are good people. Keep doing what you do. Keep influencing. There it is with the Funko there. This influencer.
Before we go, can we just have them go around real quick and just say any, if they want to say anything, find them on social media or not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let us know. Yeah, let us know where we can find your socials and last words. We'll start
Any
with
last words?
We'll start with Dylan, and then we'll go to Dan, and we'll go that way back to Jada. Dylan?
I'm excited to see everyone at the convention. My Instagram is just Scanlon Dylan, and I can't wait.
Awesome.
Can't wait.
Dan.
Sure. My social media is Get After It Dads. But I just wanted to say one other thing real quick, if I can.
Yeah.
A lot of these shows, they're always pitting everybody against each other, and it was very, very. You could feel when it happened in our show. It was very quickly established that it was all of us against them. You could feel it. It was touchable, and that shows true because all of us, no matter how we went, we like Mai said, we are very good friends. Everybody on this show showed up for a huge fundraiser that I had in Philly. They came from all over the world to come to it. So that us versus them mentality that we adopted because we wanted to get those guards and we wanted to win and we wanted to protect each other. It was really nice to feel that. And as you can see, I hang out with these young whippersnappers all the time, so we still have that feeling.
Awesome. That's dope. Camilla, tell us where we can find you and some last words, please.
Yeah, so my social medias on all platforms is Shut Up Camilla. I got that name from like MySpace days because my mom always told me that I talk too much. So it was very fitting. But yeah, I can attest to these people are like ride or dies for me. I see some of them all the time, some of them not enough. And it's crazy the kind of friendships that I have done. I mean, literally Jada comes over my house like once a month. So like we send my fiance to the couch and like her and I share a bed and so it's really cute and it's really cool to have these kinds of relationships that you made off of a show in London from Netflix. Like it's such a weird thing to wrap my head around.
Awesome. Thank you. Mai.
So this is my first social media, but now it's expanded to more than others platform. But my handle is at IAMMAI287.
Cool.
Right, so awesome.
And thanks for popping on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you. And if you can make it, like I said, you have an open invitation. We'll have Yvette send you the information. We'd love to have you in AC with the rest of these guys.
Yeah, of course.
For Brandon, Tim, and Yvette, I send you a text in the chat. If you can send me that email, and I forward it to Monica and Marissa so they can do the schedule for me.
Yes,
absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mai. Mr. Kane.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, being a part of this family has been a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I feel like I've made a whole new batch of friends that I love seeing, every once in a while and hanging out and doing our thing. And it's very special. It almost feels like being in high school again, where you like have like your little close friends and stuff, and everybody's a little bit different and a little bit kooky. It's like a classic like that 70s show situation, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It's
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
And on social media, you guys can find me at Avatar Phil, Instagram, TikTok, the whole shebang, and more importantly, my band 6 Ways to Saturday.
Yeah.
We are performing in the area, New York City, Philly, New York, all that kind of stuff, New Jersey. You can check us out at 6 Ways to Saturday on every social media platform. Please check us out on Spotify as well. We're working super hard on some new music. We got some big shows coming up, and we're very excited.
I will come and represent, Phil. No doubt. I'm right around the corner, buddy. All right, Jada.
Yeah, I never thought a show that I was solely going on to not make friends, I would come out with such like forever friends. I'm just so immensely grateful for this experience because it is allowing me to do more. But honestly, like I said, connect with more people that I never thought I would. Like even with me and Phil going out 2 days a week last week until 5 a.m. He's crazy. But it's just so much fun. Like, really, like Phil said, kind of touch on everyone's different personalities and really see it all mesh together. So I'm so excited for Atlantic City, and you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at It's Jada Sasha.
It's Jada Sasha. Well, I want to, Yvette, thank you so much for co-hosting with us tonight. Please tell us where we can find you on. Please tell us where we can find you on social media.
So you can find me on Instagram at YZSetMedic, and I'm on Facebook under my name, Yvette Zambrano.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all.
I do want to say one thing.
Please do.
I want to thank you guys for accepting my offer to come to an event that's going to be amazing. But thank you for letting me in your little friendship circle. I love you guys. And I cannot wait to spend more time with you. And I can't wait for Atlantic City. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. You guys are awesome. Everybody watching, thank you for everybody that was watching. I saw Caroline. I saw Manny, as always. We appreciate your support. Come to Atlantic City, July 25th to the 28th to see these amazing Squiddies. Was that right? Squiddies? Is that it?
Yeah.
Squid Game the Challenge. We got Dan. We got Jada. We got Camilla. We got Dylan. We got Phil. And, of course, down, I got to pan down a little bit. We got the winner of Squid Game, the amazing Mai right here. These are all wonderful people. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. We look forward to meeting you in AC. Go get tickets at brantim.realms.tv. And thank you all for your support, too, Squid Gamers.
Yeah,
Please
seriously.
keep sharing it. And I get all the Jersey, Delaware, New York, everybody out to meet you guys and meet all these other amazing celebrities that will be here on the weekend. Thank you very much. Have a good night. For Brandon.
Pleasure meeting you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a great evening.
Awesome. See you, friends.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Jada.